you want to know what the very best sword in Minecraft is? Well, don't you go anywhere. I'm going to tell you now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, on Minecraft Magic. Now, last time we looked at the bow and how many enchantments and what the god bow position would be. Today, we're going to look at probably the weapon that most people use, the sword. And this fella has got a lot of enchantments that you can put on it. Some of them, unfortunately, don't mix. Let's have a play. So I'm going to come over towards this wandering con man to my AFK Fish Farm, because in here are all of the books that you can apply to your sword, each and every one of them. So let's just get them all in. And we can start to put these on and think about what they're going to do for our sword. Now, first off, this is not a tutorial on how to apply these books in the most efficient way onto your sword. The most efficient way is to combine the two that have got the lowest cost to enchant, stick them together, then the next two that are lowest, stick them together, next two that are lowest, stick them together, and that way you use up less enchantment points. This is just to demonstrate what the enchantments do themselves. So let's get on there and start looking at what these enchantments are. So the first enchantment we've got is Fire Aspect. Now, Fire Aspect isn't everyone's cup of tea because, well, it set things on fire, frankly, but it is very, very useful. If you want to cook your food, for example, hit a cow with a Fire Aspect sword and it will inflict fire damage and drop cooked meat. You'll get 80 ticks, which is 4 seconds worth of fire damage for each Fire Aspect level, and there are 2 potential levels, so Fire Aspect 2 being the highest. However, because you can't inflict fire damage and sword damage on the same hit, the first second of that fire damage actually doesn't count. So for Fire Aspect 2, you actually only get 7 seconds worth of damage coming from fire. So let's just demonstrate this, shall we? If I put Fire Aspect on here, pull that off, there we go. So I now have a Fire Aspect sword. I'm now going to go and find something to hit. I can see a poor defenseless sheep. However, this sheep used to be a criminal in a past life. It was a creeper, so I'm going to kill it. And there you go, you hit it and it catches fire and it drops cooked mutton. Now, the next enchantment is the looting enchantment, and this, as the name sounds, gives you the opportunity to rummage around in the corpse of the thing that you have just killed and get more stuff out of it, which sounds gross, but means you get more stuff. So happy days. So looting 3 is the highest level you can get with looting, and what it does is it adds an extra item to the drop count of the thing that you're going to kill. So for example, with a creeper it drops between 0 and 2 gunpowder. If you kill it with a looting 3 sword, it drops between 0 and 5. Looting 1 sword between 0 and 3. So it's what it normally does plus 1 for each level. So I'm just going to come and kill a cow because that's how I roll, and we're going to see what we get out of a cow. There we go. So wow, so I got out of that cow 6 raw beef and 4 leather. That's just 1 cow as a result of that looting 3 enchantment. Next enchantment is Unbreaking. Now you can get up to 3 levels of Unbreaking, and what Unbreaking does is it reduces the chance significantly of your weapon, or indeed any other thing with Unbreaking on it, of taking damage, taking wear and tear to its durability. So I'm going to put Unbreaking 3 on this sword here. Now what that will mean is that if it's got Unbreaking 3, it will only take damage 25% of the time that I use it. So basically I improve the life of this sword by a factor of 4. Next on my list is Knockback. There are 2 levels of Knockback, Knockback 1 and Knockback 2. Now Knockback will literally knock the thing that you hit backwards and disorient it very often, which means that it can't quite work out where it's going to attack straight away, which is fantastic. And it also pushes it away for you. They're really good for bashing creepers because it means the creeper gets a long way away, and I'm sure, yes I did, I saw a creeper over here. So if I hit this creeper, you'll see with this sword it'll go back a very long way. Bang, see, look, knocks it back miles, right out of blast range. Bang it out, there we go, right out of blast range again. Don't go in the water, for goodness sake. And then come around here, I'm going to hit it again, bang, and that kills it. So it is a really nice little enchantment to use if you're killing things that are going to blow up in your face. The next enchantment is the old favourite of Mending. Now you can put Mending on pretty much any piece of weapon or armour. It is absolutely brilliant. And what that will do is it will borrow the experience orbs that you earn from mining or from killing mobs or from anything, frankly, any experience orb. And for every experience orb that you gather up, 2 durability points go back onto your sword. You don't get the XP, but you do get your sword mended up slowly, which means theoretically, it could last forever. Now, I really like the next one. Put your sword in there and get Sweeping Edge. Now, Sweeping Edge, maximum enchant level of 3. That will allow you to hit multiple targets at the same time with your sword. Now, this is a Java only enchantment. You can't get it in Bedrock, or at least I'm pretty confident that you can't. Now, what it's going to do, it's going to add to the damage that I do to these poor cows in a minute on my sword all at the same time. So for example, if I had a standard sword, obviously it does the damage that it does. If you have Sweeping Edge 1, it will increase the damage by 50%. Sweeping Edge 2 increase by 67%, and Sweeping Edge 3, like this fella here, that increases the damage by 75%. Now let's come in and have a little bit of fun. Look at that, multiple cows at the same time. It's quite devastating when you fight in a group. Now, if you've got a skeleton farm or a gold farm using zombie pigmen or something like that, this next one is an absolute boom. Let me just grab another sword. Pop this one in here. Smite. Up to 5 levels with your Smite sword. Now, what Smite will do is it will significantly, and I mean significantly, increase the amount of damage that you actually do to an undead mob. So a normal diamond sword will do 7 points of damage. That's 3.5 hearts. However, up to Smite 5 will do 19.5 points worth of damage. That's insane. That's nearly 10 hearts, which means you're killing these things pretty quickly. Oi, zombie. Can you see me? Yeah, look at all those hearts fall off of him. Boom. They're dead easy to kill. Now that's true for any undead mob. Now maybe you've not got a skelly farm or a zombie farm. Maybe you've got a spider farm. If you've got a spider farm, you want one of these puppies. Get yourself your sword in there. Bane of Arthropods. Now, Bane of Arthropods is basically the same thing. I can hear a skeleton. It's basically the same thing as the Smite sword, but it works on spiders and cave spiders and bees in the 1.15 update, and also silverfish and endermites. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to spawn in a spider right here. I've got a spider egg, and it's daytime, so it's not going to try and hurt me. So I'm going to give it a bit of a surprise attack, and I say, oi spider, I'm actually not liking you very much. Come back here, because I'm going to bash you. One hit, all those hearts up in the air, is absolutely monstrous. The next enchant is a bit like Smite, and it's a bit like Bane of Arthropods, but it is general, and that is Sharpness. Sharpness will basically make your sword more sharp, which means it is more likely to deal some damage. It doesn't do as much extra damage as Smite and Bane of Arthropods does though, however, and there is a big difference between the amount of damage that you can do in Bedrock to Java. So in Java, a Sharpness 5 sword is going to give you +3 points on your damage. So normally 7, so it'll give you +3, which is up to 10. Now in Bedrock, Sharpness 5 will give you +6, and strangely a quarter, +6.25, which changes your 7 to a 13. So Bedrock, Sharpness is totally OP. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit one of these cows, and let's see what Sharpness does to poor old Daisy. One hit wonder. Now the last individual enchantment that I'm going to talk about today is this horrible red Curse of Vanishing. Now what the Curse of Vanishing will do when you put it on a sword is nothing whilst you're using a sword. It has exactly no effect whatsoever. If I go and kill Daisy's mother over here, look, it gives exactly the same damage. I've probably already hit that one from when I did Sweeping Edge. It does exactly the same damage as it would a normal sword. That wasn't a particularly good demonstration, but trust me, it really does. However, if you were to die, and this was a god sword, this sword was amazing, and it had the Curse of Vanishing on it, it would disappear forever in a puff of smoke, and you would never ever get it back. So the obvious question is now, that's brilliant, there's a load of different swords there that I can play with, but can I combine these enchantments? And the answer, dear viewer, is yes. Yes, of course you can. You can make an absolute god sword. Now, it depends on what you want. It's all about whether or not you want to knock back your opponents. If you're fighting skellies in the wild, you don't want to knock back your opponents because it pushes them back and they can shoot an arrow at you. You want to get right in on them and give them a reet bash. If you don't want to set the zombie on fire because it's going to come and set you on fire right back again, you don't want fire aspect on it. There are lots of choices. However, you can properly combine these fellas by, look, fire aspect, looting, unbreaking, knockback, mending and sweeping edge will all go onto a single sword. However, if you were to add one of these, it stops you adding the others. You cannot combine Sharpness and Smite. You cannot combine Smite and Bane of arthropods. You cannot combine Smite and Sharpness. You've got to take your choice. Do you want to kill everything? Do you want to kill arthropods, spiders and bees and stuff like that? Or do you want to go hunting the undead? Make your choice and stick your enchantment on. So one question remains. What do I, Avomance, consider to be the best possible enchantment combination for a sword? Now, this is my opinion. This is not necessarily your opinion. So in the comments, don't go saying, no, Avo, you want to put this or that on it. This is just what I like the best. And it is this. Avo's God Sword. It has fire aspect on it. I like to set things on fire. It has looting, it has unbreaking, it has mending, it has sweeping edge, and it has sharpness. And that's because I like to go out and hit everything with it. I don't necessarily bias towards the undead. I don't necessarily bias towards spiders. However, if I've got a skelly or zombie farm or a spider farm, I will have a sword sitting in an item frame right next to it that will have the appropriate enchantment for the absolute best results. Now, dear viewer, armed with this information, go unto the enchanting world and enchant your sword with the full knowledge that you know exactly what it is you're lobbing on it. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, you're very naughty, but do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club. I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.